Hello, everyone, and welcome to round one, back nine of the 2023 Dynamic Disc Tournament Capital Open, the first stop on the Canadian Disc Golf Tour. I'm Andre, I'm with Jesse. And what do we got going on here, Jesse?
We're playing some Frisbee in Kamloops.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much to PDGA Canada for sponsoring this event and the rest. They pretty much sponsor every event in Canada. You know, the nice thing about PGA Canada is that all the funds from any tournament that you play, they get reinvested into Canadian initiatives. So huge thanks to PGA Canada.
Absolutely. We couldn't do this without them, and most of these tournaments are also relying on their support.
Yeah, we got round one feature card here. Thomas Gilbert, Troy Sargeant, Miguel Alvarado, and Justin De Silva. You can see their nifty little player cards here. It's funny, actually. We got these guys to rate themselves, kind of like a create a player in the NHL and FIFA games kind of thing.
I love this. I love that it's self-assessed as well.
Yeah.
So these guys are telling you what they think their strengths are. And I got to say it, I think they're fairly accurate.
Yeah, there you go. Obviously, they're based off of their ratings, and then you just kind of take your overall from there. But let's take a look at the scoreboard here. Max Regitnig at the top, Neg 6 through 11. Mitch McMahon a little bit behind him, and then a host of people at Neg 3 and Neg 2. So, I mean, there's a lot of disc golf still to be played. You know, none of these guys on this top 10 are finished yet. So,
oh no, there's a lot of golf to play and a lot of scoreable golf to come as well. This back nine, though, probably the toughest nine of the entire tournament. So we will see how these guys in our feature group navigate that. Expect things to get a little more tighter with a little more elevation. Should make for some exciting golf to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, the back of from the front nine is that we have 3 of our lead card participants are on that top 10 leaderboard. So here we go, hole 10, par 3, 290 feet. It's a bit of a tunnel shot. And new this year is that Mando that you saw at the start there. It's a triple Mando, and it's the anti-thumber Mando, I would say. So,
absolutely, yeah. Casey Hannemeyer famously throwing that thumber MB coverage last year to great success. And another guy playing in the Masters, Jason Popejoy. Shout out to him. He is a thumber expert, the chairman of the Thumber Nation. And I'm sure he was not very happy to see that Mando in place.
Justin up first here and catching some trees on the left-hand side.
It's pretty common to throw that touchy hyzer flip and leave it a little too hard left, or a little bit of a flex shape that gets a little too far right.
See if Miguel can make the correction. He catches that tree there as well. That was really close, though. That was kind of the line that a lot of these guys are looking for.
Yeah,
just a little baby flex down the middle. Here's Thomas, a little bit higher on his.
High, stable, flexier. That's a great shot.
Yeah, that's fantastic. He'll have a putt inside the circle. Let's see if Troy can follow that one up with a line drive here.
I didn't check in to know what these guys were throwing, what they had in their bag. Do we have any ideas?
I know that Miguel putts with a Berg.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then obviously Thomas is throwing TSA, and it looks like Troy here is he threw a Crave, or it looks like not a Crave. It looks like some sort of Axiom disc. I can't quite tell what it is, but
might
likely
be a Hex
or an MB maybe even. Yeah. Throw this thumber down. Yeah. Ain't no Mando gonna stop him from throwing a thumber from there. So. Here's Justin from the trees on the left.
Yeah, trying to find a gap. Gets one. Oh,
there's that sagebrush. Nasty, nasty sagebrush.
Rose Hill signature sage. Maybe, got to get this one around the branch and over the sage. Or maybe a low hyzer. I think he might be trying to give it a half bid.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah, it's so hard to get through all that.
Yeah, that's tough. And that's what makes these greens really challenging is, just trying to find a lane to putt at.
Yeah, especially if you're someone that's got more of a pitch shape to their putt that starts down low. The sagebrush gets in your hands, between your legs, and it makes the putting stance and shape very uncomfortable.
Yeah, Justin just missing his. Let's see if Miguel can put his par down. Just gets that one to go. That's
weak side, but with Anheuser.
Yeah. Love to see it. Wasn't putting it with a berg there either, so look, must have been his secondary putter. Here's Troy from a knee.
Yeah, an awkward spot to be. You think you're in a great place, and then you got to contend with all this.
Oh, he had the line, just not quite the height.
Yeah, hard to get the height underneath that branch. I think Thomas is going to have to put some pace and spin on this one to keep it under.
Not quite. You can tell he's not happy about it either.
Yeah, a pair of almost there. Almost under, catching a little bit, and almost in the basket, just a bit wide.
Yeah. So he'll tap in his par.
Yeah, seeing a little bit of frustration. Going back to assess his line, thinking about his shot while the other guys tap in.
And I mean, that's the sign of a professional right there. He's going back and making the correction on his putt, and hopefully he can fix that coming down the stretch here.
Yeah, absolutely. Adding another line to the mental notebook. Better every day. Ooh, Miguel up on his toes.
His tippy toes in the sagebrush. Gets it to drop.
I love the pants, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, always trying to look fresh, but yeah, the gray plaid.
Yeah. Here we go, hole 11, par 4. This one is a little bit shorter from last year. It's only at 430 feet, but it's still quite a challenge. You got these bunch of trees in the middle here, and a lot of guys will go right, a lot of guys will go left. Just kind of pick your, it's dealer's choice, really. And then typically the hole is quite a bit further up the path here, but this year the basket is tucked into the right as you see it here.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of wide hyzers out at the right, landing somewhere into the two pathways that you can typically choose. It says 430, but I think this one probably plays closer to 575. I don't think maybe. A lot of guys are going to contend with this basket, even the most powerful throwers.
It is uphill as well, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe more uphill than even the camera kind of lets on.
Totally. And Miguel kind of taking that left path, but he gets it, he turns it over, and it just kind of kept going there a little bit.
That's the shape I take as well, the left side hyzer flip. If you... Yep, Tom's going big left side as well.
Oh, no, but if this one doesn't keep going, this could be bad. You can tell by the cameraman, that handsome gentleman right there, he does not look great. Looks like it's wide out to the left.
And Justin looking like, lining up the hyzer shape on the other side, which I saw more commonly in my groups. The only issue you can possibly have on that side is to maybe leave it too high and leak too far left, but that was very safe from Justin. Yeah,
it's a great spot to be.
Troy looking like he's going for the big flip shot as well.
There's Troy, and that's... Oh, it looks like he might have tapped something there. Or...
Caught some tree.
Yeah, that's a great spot.
Yes, there's a little row of trees in the middle that separates it. He might be behind them, but if not, one of the best spots on the hole you can be.
And there's Thomas and his caddy Chance trying to look for a little spot, a little gap.
Yeah, oh boy. I was gonna say, you don't want to be there, and you really don't want to be there.
No, this was, you could not see the basket. You couldn't quite tell. I had no idea where this was going, but you do see a little circle tick there. So that's a good recovery shot.
Yeah, no kidding. That might be the two farthest throws ever played on this hole.
Yeah.
Miguel with the flex, chasing his line up there.
Yeah.
Landing somewhere by Thomas.
Yeah, he is from the other side there, so it could be pretty tight in those trees too. So
yeah, there's a couple trees that can give you a bad time right around 20 feet or so. That's one of them.
Justin was looking really good there, and then that tree obviously kind of got caught up on that, but he should have a good putt there from there.
Yeah, he kicked away from the tree. Should be pretty safe. Ooh.
Troy also catching the tree here, but looking
nice
like he's
assist.
got a circle one putt as well.
That's birdie putts for everybody.
Here's Thomas. See if he can make the putting correction from the last hole. Not quite there. And, you know, that's the challenge of this hole. You look at all these trees here, you got to find a gap between them. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's kind of like wherever you lie, you don't have a choice of where you're putting. The trees make the line for you.
Absolutely. And I think I like that for, you know, something that doesn't take a lot of distance to be a par 4. A little extra spice around the green kind of helps that.
Miguel getting his birdie to drop. Always nice to see that.
Giving lots of love to these baskets today.
Troy, oh,
air ball.
You can tell he wants that one back.
I don't know if it was the way the footage was cut or what, but it didn't seem like he did his usual routine that we saw earlier.
No, it was a little bit shorter. Didn't quite get all of it. There's Justin on the left side, but he gets it to drop for his birdie as well.
In for his bird.
So it's always a good birdie to get. Hole 11 is not an easy hole. Troy from another knee, cleaning up his par, and you hate to see it.
Yeah, it's really, really tough in that range because it's so easy to take that putt for granted and then just make the slightest error that results in a stroke that you wouldn't take 9 times out of 10.
No, and I mean, you can play it back if you want, but I do believe he took a little glance at the camera right before he putt. So I have a sneaky suspicion it's that camera jitters are, he's just not quite feeling himself.
Even just the distraction to break your focus right before putting.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough. Because we've seen in the front 9 coverage, if you haven't checked that out yet, go do so. Troy makes some great putts.
Yeah. Here we go, hole 12, par 3, 377 feet. We just passed through a double Mando. This one, actually, I think it's a triple Mando. They added one to the top, so you can't go over the top anymore. A lot of guys will just kind of try to get one out here however they can, land in sort of this area here. Not a lot of guys will be able to get to the green from the tee, so this is a really challenging shot.
Yeah, this is probably one of the highest pressure tee shots because if you make the Mando, the gap that's left is heavily contested by those 2 armored trees you saw early in the drone flight. And it's very easy to focus on making that Mando, hit one of those trees, and then have a 325-foot shot to save par.
There you go, Miguel. Hitting the Mando sign, but it looks like he made the Mando.
Yeah, Miguel is now almost exactly in the situation I just spoke about. You'll see some hyzer flips try and get through the middle, and then some wide shots like Justin through there, trying to sneak out the other side.
So it looks like it's, of course, there's a fairway on this other side. You can see the T sign there, so that's why they were shouting 4 there.
We should have grabbed some stats for this hole because probably the hardest hole versus par,
or
at least the fewest birdies. I think this one probably averages close to 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Thomas. That's a good line.
But it just needs to come back a bit for him.
Yeah.
Not quite. Yeah.
He has a little bit of a putt. He might have a bit of a look. It's going to be hard, though. His circle 2 putt.
I did not see any forehands. I'm assuming that's wide on the right with some flex.
Yeah, and I mean, you looked at the player's card. I think Troy is doing us a little dirty here because he says he doesn't forehand much, and you saw the player card. He gave himself like a 54 or something like that for a forehand, and that wasn't too bad. So.
He piped it dead center.
Yeah.
This shot, because once you get off to the side of this fairway, you lose all sight of the basket and you bring in so many more obstacles and so much more shape that's required on your throw to get anywhere close to this basket.
Yeah.
I suspect he's going to go with the high sidearm flex to carry all the way down slowly. But no. Oh. Yeah. And
there it is. Catches a little branch, though.
Too much.
Yeah, that's the problem when you hit those early trees. It really slows the spin of the disc down, and that's what causes those discs to crash out way earlier than you want them to.
Yeah. Justin throwing perfectly over everything.
There you go.
That's a rarity.
Puts it beside the basket from the other fairway.
Maybe that's the play. We need to be playing the other fairway.
Apparently. There's Troy with another forehand. That's 2 forehands in a row. He puts it beside the basket. He's going to be able to clean up his par pretty easily there.
Mm-hmm. And like we were saying, a par here is probably strokes on 30% or more of the field.
Yeah. Thomas wisely laying this one up. He didn't quite have the look he wanted.
Yeah, not scared to go for them from a long way, but just with that much angle, I'm sure he didn't want to have a 40-foot comebacker through the sage. Boom.
There's Miguel getting his bogey. So did they call that a missed bando or? Oh, no, because he went out wide and then
knocked the tree. That was his approach. Yeah.
There you go.
And a very typical story of the hole. If you interviewed all the players, that would be 25% of the field saying something like that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to know how many birdies total there were on that hole, because I think I only heard of 2, but I also didn't talk to everybody. Checking in with our scoreboard, we've got Max still hanging on to his lead, 7 down through 14. Mitch in the clubhouse at 6 down, second place. Jade Smith, who is 4 down, tied up with Luke Levesque, and we've got a slew of people, all the good guys in there. Shout out to Jeremy Gauthier, our friend, who's in the mix there.
Yeah.
And he was looking very, very majestic in our round 1 hype reel
preview. Go. Yeah. Hole 13, it's a par 3, 331 feet. This one, it kind of plays a little tight up the fairway, but you'll see a lot of people try to get over the trees on the right or take the forehand line. And the green opens up a little bit nicely, but if you land short, you could be pretty challenged.
Yeah, you'll see some stuff get a little flexy backhand on the left side, or some hyzer flip up the middle shapes. The hyzer around the right side kind of baits you into thinking it's there, and it certainly is not.
Yeah. Here's Justin. He's looking right up the gut. Catches a tree and knocks him down pretty early, but he's in the fairway, so not too bad, all set.
Yeah, not too much work to do for the par from there. I think he was going for that left side kind of flip or flex shot. Just didn't get the angle out of his hand he wanted because he was throwing the right direction for it.
Mm-hmm. Thomas
might be just throwing straight at it.
He's looking up at that wide gap on the right-hand side, and he catches a tree super early. That's not going to be great, but yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. Looks like he'll have a look to get up and down for his par.
Yeah, it takes a lot of power because you have to get over all the trees almost the whole way there. It's not until you get to about the circle when it starts to open up on the right side to let you swing back in.
And here's Troy. That's the straight up the gut play that you love to see. Kind of falls on, crashes into the left-hand side, and it can be pretty tight in there. So he'll have a hard look for birdie, but a look is better than no look.
Yes, absolutely. And you can get in some situations if you hit an early tree where getting par becomes a great challenge. And I said it too soon.
Yeah, looks like it kind of fell out of his hand a little bit early there for Miguel. He's in the trees early, so.
Not as fortunate a kick as we saw for Justin, so he might have more work to do. Yep. Ooh, and this looks like a tomahawk. I was thinking flex shot, but he's lining that up pretty high. Nope. Just an aggressive flex.
Just taking something super overstable here so you can put it on a super high and hyzer and just have it crash out. And not the worst result. It's going to be a little, he's not going to have the look he probably wanted, but not too bad. Oh, Justin. That looks pretty good.
And that's the difference that 10 feet makes. You're either in Miguel's spot fighting for your life, or you've got a pretty routine shot like Justin had there.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas from 70,
80, somewhere around there, it looks like. Thomas is also, you know, he knows right out of his hand. You can hear him every time he putts, whether he likes it or not. So
yeah, and that was not his best effort for sure there.
There's Troy with the casual little flick.
Yeah, I'm smartly laying up.
Miguel kind of from a similar spot. He does get in front of those little trees, so he does have this putt. Could have been a lot worse. If he was before those trees, it would have been looking directly at them and having to putt over them. So could have been a lot worse, but Miguel takes the bogey. There's Troy cleaning up his par.
Under the tree. You see the new Little Mermaid yet? I don't know why that popped in my head, but
I haven't.
My brain went under the tree, and he makes it from under the tree.
Yeah. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Yeah. No, Disney's not a sponsor.
No, maybe one day. But yeah, 1 bogey, 3 pars on that hole.
A lot of pars over the weekend. A lot of power throwers, a little more comfortable getting in the mix for birdie there, but again, like tight and more uphill than it looks on camera. So probably playing like 390, probably totally. 380.
Yeah. Hole 14, par 3, 374 feet. Great look at the Kamloops Hills in the background. This one's just a big old hyzer and try to get it down and crashing into this green here. So.
Yeah, this one, you can bring some touch into it. You either throw something that's going to be a little understable on an inside hyzer line that slowly leaks into this green, or you throw something high with enough width, hoping to get over the trees and then back down quickly into this green. Very satisfying birdie when you get it.
There's Justin with a pure hyzer here.
That's the over the trees, get down quick.
Yeah, Justin.
And based on that, oh,
yeah, he's maybe circle's edge, it looks like.
But still a very good shot is anything close to the circle here. Thomas looking for the same line, I believe.
Yeah, there you go.
And that looks a little more stable, so it might come down in time, get him a little tighter to the basket.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. He makes the correction off Justin. Justin looks like it just carried a little bit more than he wanted.
Troy lining up maybe a more conventional line. You can throw dead straight and then let the disc fade out on its own. And nope. He's just taking the high hyzer, but from the inside.
And maybe not quite as overstable as he wanted, but he looks like he might be right there, right around Justin's. So Miguel with a little bit
that's on
flatter,
off, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the stability to get down quickly. It's drifting way out. Again, from the groups I saw, that's above average, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. Even Miguel will have a potential look at it. He's a little bit long, but he's got that tree to contend with. That's too bad.
Kind of giving it a half run there.
Yeah. Here's Justin's.
Oh, just off to the left side.
He's had a couple like that this whole round, so hopefully he can make the correction.
Troy looking like he's getting back to that routine a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
just
too bad. Yeah, you can see the circle's edge there.
It's a lot nicer to be hitting the band than the cage, but boy, would you rather hit chains.
There's Thomas dropping in his birdie, and it looks like everyone else will clean up their pars. All in all, it's getting out of here unscathed.
Yeah, an early tree or being a little too wide and getting caught up on the trees on the hyzer end can be very, very dangerous here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you do see like when you have that crash, you kind of see a lot of people kind of landed behind where Troy is here. So
yeah, I thought where Justin was putting from was probably a very common spot. You skip off the chips and end up just at the base of those trees.
Yeah. And there's Justin and Thomas talking disc. Always nice to have Thomas up for these tournaments. It's he loves playing in Canada, so great to have him as a part of this. Hole 15, par 3, 351 feet. We're shooting back the other way up the hill. This one has some tight trees on the left and the right, and you could play it forehand, you could play it backhand, and yeah.
Very, very similar to what we saw on 13, but there is a way to make a forehand work here. You'll see a lot of people trying to get enough height to bring the trees in less and less and less, but not the easiest thing to do at 351, playing quite uphill. Again, probably closer to 425 maybe.
Here's Thomas favoring that backhand line up over the trees.
Someone woke up. Go
in. Not sure who that was, but yeah, Thomas waking up, putting that one close to the basket.
Justin looking like he's maybe taking the flex up the middle more than the hyzer. Nope, I was wrong.
Taking that inside line again. Oh, and that tree kind of did him dirty a little bit. That could have been a lot better. Fortunately, he gets the roll back. And he'll have a longer look for the birdie.
I'm not going to guess what Troy's going to do because I've been wrong.
I'm going to say Troy's going to go hyzer on the inside of the tree. And I think that's more of the conventional line there.
Yep. You see a lot of people putting from that tree
Yeah.
and the tree that Justin's around.
Yeah, just not quite getting it up the hill as much. See what Miguel does here. Turns it over a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of the line I expected Justin to try and take, the flex up the middle, but just burned over a little bit for Miguel here.
He does have a look at the basket.
Get down. And it does.
Does. Catches the tree.
Should be a no-brainer par for Miguel based on how he's been putting. Troy from a knee.
Troy from a knee again. I was going to say, you said under the tree last time. Under the tree from a knee. Seems to be his MO. Fortunately, doesn't get that one to drop either.
Yeah, just maybe hooked his finger a little bit or something, pulling it to the right. And
That's a lot of tree for Justin to contend with there.
man, I know how that feels because you sit there, just look at the tree and say, all I got to do is not hit the tree. And what do? You hit the tree.
Hit the tree. Yeah.
You think of all the ways you could have missed the tree as soon as it left your hand.
Miguel cleans up his par. And Thomas getting his birdie.
Tom's heating up on the back.
Yeah, he is. Neg 4. After a little bit of a slow start for him.
Boom. Troy makes good.
And Justin putting in the bogey. It's really unfortunate break for Justin there.
Yeah. No, just consistency around the putting green for everybody seems to be maybe a little touch and go at times here. And then, yeah, just the mental mistake of maybe looking at the branch you want to miss and then throwing where your eyes are.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our scoreboard here through 16. Max still up at the top. He's obviously a hole ahead of these guys, or sorry, through 15. Mitch holding on to that second spot. And then, yeah, pretty tight throughout the rest of the board. Hole 16, par 4, 575 feet. This is another one of the feature holes, I'd say, on the course. You kind of come out into this nice meadow, and then, you know, you kind of got a perfect landing spot is a little bit beyond these trees here, I'd say, and then try to get your second shot into the green here where you have the nice view of Kamloops in the background.
Yeah, OB down both sides. The hillside on the left all the way down around the basket is out of bounds. There's also an out of bounds line on the right side. A lot of these guys, you have an elevated tee and 575. You start licking your chops for a chance at maybe a long eagle look or something. And we saw the OB, especially on the right, come into play with people really trying to go for it, maybe overturning their discs.
Mm-hmm.
Tom is definitely capable of putting this one in the circle for eagle, but does require some touch and some shape, so you can't just get out there and blast.
There he goes.
Yeah, he says higher, and that's the first thing I thought that.
But he makes it past those trees, so that's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I know he can probably get another 80, 90 feet on that, as we see that from other players in the MPO division. This has to get down for Troy.
This definitely has us a little bit high. Hopefully it fights. And
OB left. It's a hole where the OB can get in your head so quickly.
And that happens. It happens often where people just get a little bit too high on this one.
Yeah, I know. You start thinking Miguel's throwing a flippy disc to carry that distance, and at least for me, when I'm doing that, my head goes, "Don't pull it out to the right."
Yeah, and looks like Miguel does that exact thing.
So you overcorrect and ends up going OB as well. Not a hard par to save from OB on the left side.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
you know, you can hang a forehand over all the OB, but OB on the right side has a little more that can come into play.
Here's Justin making the correction a little bit lower.
This might be the best of the bunch. Yeah,
there you go, right there.
Great spot.
Pretty close to Thomas. Should have the open look to get up and down for the birdie. So
yeah, I don't know, that'd be about 100 feet or so.
Yeah. Troy and Miguel can't quite tell which one's which, so I guess it's kind of rock, paper, scissors, maybe.
No, I'm sure the spotter, they have to make the decision themselves, but the spotter would have a pretty good idea of who was who, or at least who they were trying to mark. Tough spot to throw the backhand from, but he must have seen an opening for that hyzer.
Yeah. This has got to stop.
And that's OB again.
That's too bad because Miguel was playing super solidly up until the last couple of holes, and that's really unfortunate for Miguel.
I don't know. Well, I guess Troy is the self-described poor forehand, but I don't know why they're not using the rule where they can take their lie back as far as they'd like to get a little bit more space to throw that forehand around. Maybe if you go back far enough, even a backhand.
Yeah, and one of the troubles is when you are skirting that backhand line, you can't quite take it back all the way because you have to take it in line with the basket.
The shape of the OB line cuts it off for sure in some places.
Tom is here doing a little jump layup for his birdie. That should be easy for him. See if Justin can get the same. Makes good on that one. So
yeah, two very, very similar tee shots, two similar approaches, and hopefully two similar birdies.
Yeah, Miguel, this is going to be a pressure putt from him.
I got a feeling.
Yeah, and there you go. Yep. He makes the comeback, gets the bogey. That's one of those unfortunate you make it in 3 shots, but
there's a 5 on the card.
Yeah. That's too bad. Here's Troy.
I can't get over how spectacular this coverage looks.
There we go. He gets his bogey to drop as well. Some unfortunate bogeys and out of bounds strokes on this one.
Yeah, I was surprised by how frequent the out of bounds was in the groups that I watched. But like I said, if you can't hyzer, then you turn it. If you can't turn it, then you hyzer, and you do one that you're not supposed to.
It's 2 birdies, 2 bogeys on hole 16. All in all, I guess they broke even. So
they broke even, but some shuffling going on in the leaderboard because of that one for sure.
Definitely. Let's take another look at that Miguel putt with Kamloops in the background.
Spectacular putt, spectacular view, spectacular dude. What more could you want?
Yeah, exactly. Spectacular coverage here. Park Pro bringing the coverage of Canadian Disc Golf Tour. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's so awesome to get the tour off the ground with such a great tournament. It's just a perfect way to start things off.
Definitely. Hole 17 is a par for 638 feet. A lot of people will take that backhand route that the drone flew off the tee, kind of land amongst the sage here, and just try to bite off as much distance as you can because you just want to make sure you have the line into this tunnely area. Because if you don't, it can be pretty challenging from that fairway.
Yeah, absolutely. You could land yourself here with a straight 200-foot putter shot you do all day, but 50 feet too far left or too far right starts making the angles very specific and makes this guarded green a little harder to attack.
Yeah. Here's Thomas. You tell he's going to go for it. Bite off as much as he can chew. Thomas, known for his distance.
That feels like it's a bit left, but holy is that far.
Yeah, and it looked like that thing was on pure highs the whole way, too. Didn't flip over at all.
Yeah, based on what we've seen from this group, I suspect that'll be the line that all of them take. There is a forehand on the left side here that can be just as, if not more, successful.
Here's Justin landing it amongst the sagebrush there.
Justin throws far. And just the difference in his distance there and Thomas's shows you what an elite talent Thomas is when it comes to throwing the disc.
Definitely. Here's Troy. He'll get that one out into the fairway pretty easily as well. So
yeah, I think he's in a good spot.
This is not a hard tee shot. I think it's the second shot that challenges people.
Yeah, just knowing, because it's blind to where you want to land, just knowing how to throw that hyzer to land in a spot where you have a good angle to approach from is so big. Mm-hmm. And almost, if you're not confident in that, being shorter might actually be better because you don't end up with such extreme angles.
Yeah. You look at, see, this is what we're saying, that is a beautiful shot from Miguel. But you just got to shape it up like that.
Like, this is almost perfect. Justin just throws something straight in. You can see how much more straightforward that is than all the angle that Miguel had to put on his disc.
Unfortunately, that one kind of gets away from Justin there.
Yeah, throws it a touch hard. He'll have an obstructed circle 2 putt.
Troy looks like he could just kind of get a hyzer into there.
Yeah, just like kind of flippy disc hyzer that settles down a bit.
Yeah.
Boom.
Great shot. A little bit further than probably what he wanted, but not too bad. Here's Thomas, best of the bunch. No surprise.
Yeah, he is.
It's kind of off to the left, though.
That's
and that
left
kind of
of-
makes it
yeah.
challenging.
It looks like that's the gap, but he's actually, throwing over those trees into the main gap.
Yeah.
Does so well.
Looks like he'll be just inside circle, too. So, sorry. Looks like he will be just inside the circle
As well.
as well. Here's Troy.
Ooh.
And he gets that one to drop, but not by much.
Hanging on for dear life there,
Yeah.
but a well-thrown putt.
Definitely. See if Thomas can get his birdie to drop as well. That's a great stroke from Thomas there. He's down to neg 6. He just looks like he's catching fire here on the back 9.
Yeah, it's nice to see him heat up maybe a little bit late in the round for putting down a super scorcher, but it definitely keeps him in the mix for that top spot.
And Miguel getting his birdie as well. And Justin will just drop in his par.
Well played for sure. All those second shots, I thought, with the exception of Justin squeaking in a bit long,
Yeah.
really, really nice job of getting in on that green.
There you go. There's Troy's just catching the edge of the the basket and getting his to drop, and we're down to one hole left here in round 1. So
Yeah.
hopefully these guys can take hole 18 and go into the clubhouse feeling good about themselves. It's a par 3, 301 foot. There's OB on the left, OB on the right. You can't quite see the OB on the right. It's pretty far over there, but it does tighten up here at the basket. So
Yeah, I really enjoy this as a finishing hole because anywhere else on the course, it's like a must get because it's a very stock sidearm for a lot of people. But stock things don't go always as planned when there's the pressure of the final hole. And there's a lot of OB around there. So if you pull it a little bit, push it a little too far, you can go out. And what you might see from some of them is a wide hyzer on the right side. And that can bring that right side OB in very, very early if you pull it. And then it's a very, very hard par as well.
Thomas just grabbing his overstable putter. Hitting that barricade. I was going to mention the barricade. If you can hit the barricade, you're looking pretty good. So.
Yeah, like I said, stock sidearm for a lot of people. I think Thomas has been throwing a zone now that he's got a half open bag.
Right.
Troy
pulls this one, but
is he
is
coming
gonna
back
go
in enough? He'd be really close. Like you said, the right side there is fairly generous. As long as he came back in, he shouldn't have too much trouble.
Yeah. Here's Miguel.
Ooh, that's inside by a lot.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh, and he got a good tree because that could have been going OB.
Yeah, you hear people, one of the spectators saying that's OB, but I think he's
I
safe.
think he's safe there. I think he got lucky from the tree.
Yep.
Justin playing that hyzer on the right-hand side.
And he's done it,
backhand hyzer, and that looks great.
You can tell it was hand that one was good.
Yeah.
Shout out to that beautiful dreadlock German there. That's Johnny Monk. He is a staple of the Okanagan disc golf community.
Yeah, not a bad karaoke partner as well either. So here's Troy.
Ooh, so that OB line is on the right side of the path, so he must have been just in.
Must have been just safe. Just floating one in there, getting it a healthy bid, not challenging the OB long. Here's Miguel.
Oh. Yeah, what a weird angle.
Yeah.
A good effort from that location. Justin for his birdie now.
And not too bad. Justin getting that one to drop.
Yeah, finishing out with a respectable 3 down. That should put him chase card, probably,
Yeah,
based on
probably
the scores
somewhere
we're
around
seeing.
there.
Maybe third
Look
card.
at that. Look at from hole 5 on from Thomas. A lot of birdies, a lot of pars. He hit 5 pars in a row, and then he hit 5 birdies to end out the round. So finishing at neg 7 is
Ooh,
Thomas. So bogey for for Troy, so he must have got the OP stroke.
Yep.
And then Miguel getting the finishing up with the par.
Repping his sponsor, Don B. You got to love that. And here's another look at that awesome sidearm from Thomas. Like, is that stock sidearm? And boy, does he ever make it look stock, because that is going there all day.
Yeah. I don't think that's a zone. It's got a stamp on it that looks like it might be a TSA stamp.
What is there? Is the
Temple.
Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at our final leaderboard. Max Sargeant holding on to the lead. Nake 10, Thomas Nake 7. We have Casey and Mitchell at Nake 6. Jeremy just missing out, and Jeremy and Jade missing out at Nake 5. Brian and Luke at Nake 4. Justin and Ben at Nake 3. So, yeah, lead card for tomorrow. Max, Thomas, Casey, Mitchell. That one should be great. Should be a good round.
Absolutely. And scoring maybe not as aggressive as a lot of people expected with the level of talent we had. I know a lot of people are thinking 10 down was like going to fill out the whole lead card.
Thank you so much for joining us for round one. I'm Andre. For Jesse, thank you for watching Park Pro. Subscribe, share, comment, like, become a patron today.
And hey, watch round 2. It'll be coming out soon.